Natalie Cook had said, to help manage nerves, you've been telling everyone that it's just going to be a regular race tomorrow. Do you think your athletes are buying that?
No. No, but it's worth a try. I mean, we went out there and looked at the course on Wednesday. No one's there. And I said, hey, look at the course. See, it's just a course. It's grass. In a couple of days, it's going to look different. But you got to make all that disappear and just see the course that you've run over and over and over again, this last year. And it's just the same old course. There's going to be some distractions, some people around you. Ignore them and let them fade away. But, it's hard to do.
Is it more challenging to do that at home versus on the road?
I think there's a certain familiarity, that you like, Taylor Rose said it best in one of our meetings. She says, any 2 minutes on that course, I know where I'm going to be 2 minutes later. She says, every place I am, I know where 2 minutes is. And that's, that there's a certain comfort and familiarity that comes with that, where you can just kind of relax and think we've done this over and over and over again. Now you still got, these people showing up and ruining the party a little bit, but I think it's probably easier here than at a place that everything's new and you're kind of a lot more uncertainty.
Dave Hunter, Track and Field News. For all four of you here, I mean, you have really exceptional teams that are going to be competing in this, and then blended in there is you have athletes have legitimate shots to win the individual title. So how do you work with your athletes to give both those pathways a fair shot? So I'd like to hear answers from all four of you if I could. Thank you.
We don't ever talk about individuals winning. That's an outcome. We talk about executing great team races. Great way to help your team is to score 1 point, though.
It's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for us, we've talked about it. Obviously, we have, Charles Hicks was up here before, and we have a few others that can be up there in the mix. So, like Coach Smith just said, the best way to get the least points is to have as many people up there. So, for me, we discuss it on both fronts. I talk about it with the individual athlete and what they can accomplish, and as a team collectively, we talk about what we want to accomplish as a team and how we want to race as a team too. So, our sport is a little bit of a weird one because it's a team sport, but it's also an individual sport. So, I try to talk with them about it and using both angles.
Yeah, for me, I kind of similar to what's being said. I think no one's really talked team title, although Alex Mayer said to me earlier in the year, he said, Coach, just so you know, I have some pretty high goals, so I'm willing to take a little more risk if you're willing to do that in training. And I said, Alex, I know what your goal is. You don't have to state it. We can just keep training. So we kind of focus, I think, like they said, on running great races, being the best position you can. Talk about ranges of places we want to be, and there's a lot of things you can't control as an athlete. You can't control how good Charles Hicks is, and there's nothing you can do about that. So you got to focus on running this course the best you can run it. And at the end, we'll see. Let's race the last 1,000, but the first 9,000, you got to run the course, and we know how to run the course. So run the course and see where that puts you. If you can sniff it in the end, then go for it.
He took all the good answers, but no, I don't think those two things are at odds. Just like everyone said, the least points your top athletes can score, the better off the team is. So, same as Mike said, we don't really talk about specific individual races. It is more of a team race, but obviously when you have individuals with an opportunity to run up at the front, we talk about the strategy of that, but it is more focused team-wise, I would say, for us. And but again, yeah, the least points that you can score up front, the better off you are team-wise.
Thank you.
Hey, yeah, this.
No, you're good.
Okay, this question is for Coach Laurie. I know Caitlin Tui. She mentioned that she hasn't redlined or anything like that. With a talent like her, how much coaching do you feel like you have to do?
Well, there's a lot of holding back, as you can imagine. But I feel like really our group is like that. I feel like sometimes that is the biggest part of my job right now, which is fun. She said here a couple of minutes ago, pressure is a privilege, and I think that is a little bit of a cliche, but we really do focus on being grateful to be here and really working with our teammates. So she is an amazing team player. Sometimes someone at that level or coming from that level in high school might not be you're not sure they're going to be as team oriented as you want in a program like ours. She has been that and more, and so the focus for her is really been on elevating her fitness and helping her teammates do the same thing.
Thank you.
Yes, this is for Coach Hennis. This is David Woods of Stack Runner Space. Do you want your runners to be mindful of what, say, New Mexico is doing during the race? You guys have had a couple of really close duels. Or is that even possible in the course of just a 20-minute race?
Yeah, we don't talk about that necessarily because I think even if you did want to do that, you're not sure you're going to be able to find that situation within a field this large, you know. There's definitely very specific things we want to do team-wise. You know, if it's easier to find your teammates since you're starting in the same place on the line. So there's definitely very specific things we want to do there. But yeah, I mean, clearly if you are in a situation where they said last year they were in a situation where it was actually very easy to see, oh, here's some New Mexico athletes, or here's some Colorado athletes, or, you know, whatever. So when that happens in a race, for sure, they're going to be aware of that. You know, talk about it not being a +1, -1. It's a +1 and a -1 when you get someone from obviously a school that you're competing against. So that kind of 2-point swing instead of a 1. So yeah, sure, they'll be aware of it, but it's not something that they'll be focusing on going into the race.
Yeah, question from Mike Smith. Wondering, can you evaluate how you think your team's season has gone this year on the men's side, and also why you made the decision to race Colin Solomon this year instead of redshirting him?
It's been an interesting season for our men's program. The past seasons I've coached at NAU, we've had a lot of affirmation in September and October, and this has been a season where we have not got a lot of affirmation from our early season meets. We've gotten lots of affirmation from training, and I think from our conversations in our locker room. But what matters is our race results. So we've had to find it in other spots. The momentum right now, I'd say, is really good. It's been positive, trending in the right direction, which is not a little thing. I've had years where I couldn't wait day by day, week by week for this thing to be over. And right now I'm feeling like, yeah, we could keep going right now. This is a really good feeling to have. And I know in years past, that's something I wished I'd had. So I like the momentum right now. Why it's been like that, you know, longer conversation. I'm not sure why the slow start. I think we've made some mistakes on my end, and yeah, and our athletes have made it interesting for sure. Decision race, Colin Solomon, second part of your question. You know, Colin was you know, high school national champion cross country, but you know, we left some uncertainty, you know, probably there recruiting him of just, you know, would it be year one that he could contribute to 10,000 meters, you know, as an 18-year-old. We thought in training that, which is the best guess we can get, we thought in training that he was someone who could make an impact on what we're doing, so we made a decision to race him, and I feel like it's a good one. He's definitely made an impact on what we're doing in lots of ways.
I got two for Coach Ricardo Santos. The first one is, how's Cole Sprout doing right now? And second, how confident are you guys, just with all of you've done this season coming into this meet?
Yeah, I mean, Cole Sprout's great. He trained this week. He's feeling good. He's ready to go. Second part of the question with how we feeling with our training this year and how things have been going. Look, we're the #1 ranked team. But to me, rankings don't mean much. It's just people's other coaches out there, their opinions. So, looking at what we've done day by day, I'm really pleased with what we've done. Really pleased with our races. You know, so but at the end of the day, nothing. You know, it matters what happens tomorrow. And so, the guys are in good spirits. You know, we've had a good trip out here. We're enjoying it, enjoying the experience, and they're ready to go for tomorrow. And now it's in their hands.
Yeah, this question is for Coach Dave Smith. I know a few days ago you called this a dream come true to host. What message are you trying to send to the NCAA and just the nation that OSU is like just a cross country powerhouse?
Well, your first part of the question is true. This, you know, 15 years ago, I told my team, I sat around like we all do, dreaming what would we like to win the lottery, where I'm going to spend my money, who I'm giving it to, who I'm going to say, no, you don't get any. Just delighting in those moments, right? And here I am actually going to spend the money. And 15 years ago, Coach Weiss and I, 20 years ago, we sat around on our old cross-country course that was, basically a cow pasture, and thinking, man, imagine hosting nationals up here. It was a dream. It wasn't real. And then to have an administration that was willing to invest the resources we invested in that course to make it to what I think is the greatest cross-country course in the world. And the NCAA to recognize that and give us not one but two opportunities in this window after COVID, giving us a second shot to host the national championships. And then to have two teams and a couple individuals on both teams that are all in the conversation, it's like, that's the holy grail, right? So for me, this is awesome. I get to do it with all my friends. They're all in town, coming to our place, hang out with all these people that I've admired and respected and hated over the years, right? And they're all here, so it's awesome. This is a dream come true, and I keep telling the team, whatever happens on Saturday doesn't matter, which is a bold-faced lie, but I'm gonna keep saying it and trying to convince myself of the same thing. But yeah, I'm thrilled to be here, and I don't even remember what your question was, but this is awesome. Having the NCAA here, I even like those guys, So yeah, we're sending the message that we need to come back.
Follow-up question for Dave, also about the course. I had one coach yesterday describe it to me as like running on a carpet, and I'm curious, like, what kind of maintenance goes into this thing? How often is it mowed? Can you tell me like what goes into maintaining this course?
It's unbelievable. We got a guy up there who does an incredible job. He was a former golf course superintendent. Our former AD, Coach Holder, hired him away to come manage this course. We spend a ton of money on it. He spends hours. He's got also a crew of people that work with him. It's his full-time job. This summer we had a severe drought. It took a lot of water to keep that grass growing. I mean, a lot of water. I think we went like 30 or 40 days without a drop of rain, and a couple different times. So it's miraculous what he's done to keep that course in the shape it's in. Again, just thankful to have an administration that supports this, and a sport that's kind of a niche sport. We're spending a lot of money keeping that course to the level it is, and we continue to invest in it to improve it year by year. It gets a little bit better. I think from those of you who were here before, we've improved it from the last time you were here. We want to continue doing that, so then we get back here in 26, it looks even better. Did I let down all the bags too soon?
So you guys all have like superstars up front, but anybody who's going to win is going to have to win it at 4, 5, and 6. Can you talk about just the challenge of finding that runner, whether it's financially be able to bring them on, whether it's developing and training that person, but these are the guys that will be the winning woman or man, and the difficulty of excelling in those spots, 4, 5, and 6.
I would just say that what you say is right. It's easy if you're up at front, and your job. My job is these 3 people, and it's very simple. The chaos is separated. I know what I got to do. I can see it. I can measure it. Coach Hannes talked earlier about it's hard to find someone when you're deep in the pack and you're in the thick of that chaos, and all the bells and alarms and whistles are going off in your head, and you got to climb another hill, and you don't know if you're turning once or twice. It's hard to calm down and sort of figure out, I'm in 80th place, but I'm 2 seconds out of 40th. Am I good, or do I need to move? That's hard to do. And I think those people are the ones that have the toughest job. The people back there who are, like you said, are going to win it for those 2, right? They got to be. They're the ones that got to figure it out. I think it's hard to do.
Who else wants to answer that question?
Yeah, no, I agree with Coach Smith on that. It's keeping those guys and women, keeping them mentally engaged in the race and letting them know that, hey, I know that they know that they want to be up there. We know as coaches that they want to be up there, but they have to run their race, and they can't get overzealous in a race like this, because if they do, then they're just going to hurt the team, and they're not ready for that level. So keeping them, having those conversations with them and having them mentally ready to be able to compete in the area that they should be competing, and beating the people around them that they should be beating to help the team is always the biggest hurdle there.
Yeah, I would say I think we've been the most successful too when that's not necessarily I'm the number 4, I'm the number 3, I'm the number 5, right? I mean, clearly when you've got people like we have, or a lot of these other people have up front, they know they might be the number 1 or number 2, right? But after that, we've been most successful, and I think we learned a lot from our ACC race this year as a team, where we had some people not run well, but we had other people really step up, and that's what we preach all the time, that the 7 people we're lining up, any of them on that given day could finish in a place that helps the team reach their goals. And so I think that's when we've been the most successful. It doesn't always happen that way, right? But I think the last couple of years, we've kind of been in that situation where we're not maybe exactly sure who's gonna be 4, who's gonna be 5, but we're hopefully, you know, prepared that they're all going to be able to finish in a place that they need to, if that's what happens on that day, for the team to meet their goals.
Yeah, these roles are inherent to our culture at NAU, and our athletes know the jobs they have to do. We prepare them for that way before the races.